Hello, my name is Katarzyna Chachlowska, and I am a software engineer in Zendesk Sell. During the day, I work on a backend, but during the other part of the day, my work day, I am also a member of the global engineering onboarding squad in Zendesk, which means that I get to talk to people who join our organization and introduce them to some of the aspects of Zendesk and Zendesk Sell engineering. And recently we have also onboarded a new team member to our project team. And I was a mentor, a buddy for this person. So actually in the past few months, onboarding and mentoring a new team member have been something that I gave a lot of thought to. So I just wanted to share some of the things that I learned, that we as a team learned in the process, and maybe inspire you to introduce these processes in your teams too. So as this is a brief and rather short lightning talk, the agenda is not very well structured, but here you can see the topics that I want to cover in this presentation. So I want to give you an overview of onboarding in Zendesk so that you know how we're doing things here. And in general, I want this presentation to be aimed both at team leaders who plan the whole onboarding, to team members who are gonna help this new person on board, and last but not least, all of us who in any time of our life will probably be changing teams or organizations. So what to remember when joining a new environment in team. This slide shows a brief overview of how the onboarding process looks in Zendesk. So while we have the company-wide onboarding for every employee, which is driven by HR, we have engineering onboarding that every engineer in Zendesk has to go through to learn how we approach building things and how the engineering organization looks like. And last but not least, definitely not least, because this is what I'm going to focus on this presentation, is team onboarding, which happens, well, it doesn't have a defined timeline. Managers, team leaders define it. And while I think that all of these pillars are important for a person to successfully settle down in a company, I think that, well, the real magic happens on a team level, because while we always try to pass our core values of Zendesk, which, by the way, are building relationships, focusing on empathy, and humbleness, which is a word that was created in Zendesk, meaning being both humble and confident when sharing your ideas. While we try to pass these values on every level, I think that from my experience at least, and this is on a team's level, that you see these values in practice. You see that people really practice what they preach. And when the new joiner sees that you embody these values and the onboarding is well prepared, they will feel much more welcome. So what can a manager, what can a team leader do to make the new person feel more welcome? So first of all, preparation. Don't go with the flow. Don't play it by ear. Plan ahead. Treat the onboarding like any other project in your team, with timeline and even with some kind of milestones. Let's say, prepare a checklist. You can put anything that you feel is important for a new person to onboard successfully. Put there getting accesses to tools, meeting required people, finishing onboarding sessions, doing some, taking some mandatory courses that your company may require, setting up environment and so on, you will feel safer and more confident that everything has been taken care of, and actually the onboarding will feel much less stressed out and much more confident. Discuss with the team that a new person joined. You can brainstorm on the first task that this person is gonna take up. Thanks to our brainstorming session regarding this, I think that we ended up with a much better and worthwhile, let's say, task that our new teammate, a student developer, could finish and actually contribute to the success of the roadmap and our goals. It was not something that was scrapped immediately, prepared just for the sake of onboarding. Select a buddy. That's another thing that I think is crucial. And in the following part of the presentation, I will focus a lot on this relationship between the buddy and the new joiner. Buddy is going to be a go-to person in your team that will help settle down the new person. And it's also a good practice to book meetings before the new person starts. Reach out. That's another pillar of onboarding. Reach out either via LinkedIn or email. Be sure to be in contact with the new person before they start, and when they finally start, give them the warm welcome. Send a welcome letter to the whole organization or sub-organization to let people know that someone new is joining, and also create some fun welcome event in your team. So a buddy, as I said, this is a go-to person, someone who is gonna answer questions, help a new joiner unblock, overcome possible problems. Remember that while this is not a full time role, it will take some of your time. So it's good to set expectations with your team leader that you will not be as effective, as focused on project as you would normally be. So the first and most important responsibility of the buddy is being available and being helpful. The next one is consulting onboarding checklist that you have prepared before. So the feedback that we got from Maya, the new person who joined us last June, was that onboarding checklist not only made her feel more confident and organized, but also created some kind of a dopamine effect when she was checking out the boxes. But yeah, remember that it is, well, not the main source of dopamine effect for the new onboarded person. You don't want them just to check out the boxes. You want actually to introduce them to the domain or project that your team is working on. So the thing that turned out well in our team was organizing sessions on different aspects of engineering in our team on different domains, let's say, and each session was led by a different person with more expertise in this particular area. So for example, someone led the session on authentication in Zendesk Sell. This is something we work on. And this will be beneficial to the new person who joins, because they will build relationship with the next team member. They will meet more people, but it also can be beneficial to your team. Remember that not everyone is working on particular projects on a daily basis. And for example, there may be a team member for whom the authentication process knowledge is pretty rusty, and they will happily attend this session too. Just remember not to hijack the session like this. because the main focus on this is successful onboarding. The next thing that is important and that a buddy can help with is helping making relationships. In your team, outside your team, there are probably many people who, well, it is useful to know, like project owners, security champions, the manager of your manager, and you as a buddy can help. You already know these people probably. You can help them. You can help the new joiner meet all the stakeholders they should meet. And I think that it is really important in the remote first environment when this is so much more difficult, and some people may feel not very comfortable with setting up a one-on-one Zoom call with the person who they have never met. Another thing is cooperation. If it is needed, cooperate per program with the new joiner. In our case, the person who joined was junior, so per programming sessions were very useful, and they proved very well, so successful that we also started per programming much more than before in a team on a daily basis. And the buddy should also set regular one-on-one meetings with the new joiner. The manager will already probably have their own one-on-one meetings, the regular one-on-one meetings, but it's important to check out not only on the progress of the checklist and so on, but just to build a relationship, make sure that they feel heard, they feel nice at work, just to chat about anything actually. And what this slide covered were things that, well, should happen for the new person to feel welcome and settled down at work. But I want to stress out how the onboarding experience that you create and execute can be beneficial to your team. So first of all, the relationship between the onboardee and the buddy is, I would say that it is a kind of a mentoring-like relationship, especially if the person who joins is more junior, which was the case in our case. And this means that the buddy can get well, as much out of it as the person who joins. They can help build their leadership and mentoring skills. The traits that are listed as important in any mentor are experience, being empathic, and being a good listener. So these are skills that are useful to practice for everyone. And this kind of relationship gives you a very unique way to, well, develop them in this situation. The next thing is team bonding. Of course, whenever someone new joins your team, it changes the dynamic in a team. But well, the fact that you plan a process like this, which is focused on very interpersonal aspects, will for sure bond your team more. You can probably, you will find out that you will change some of the ways you work, as it was in our case with this pair programming. A new person can also give you a very fresh perspective to improve and help you improve the processes in your team. They will give you a fresh perspective. They will help you. You may already stop noticing maybe you have already stopped noticing some things that are well, pushing you back, and the new person will be and the new joiner will be able. Maybe you have already stopped noticing things that are pushing you back, and the new team member will help you really see them. And the last thing that I want to mention here is keeping it simple. You will be forced to explain some of the intricacies of your system, of the design of your systems to them. And well, I think that being able to explain complicated things in a simple manner is one of the, and understandable manner is one of the most valuable skills for an engineer. And well, you will do it a lot probably. And the last thing that I want to share here is this very word-heavy slide. These are words of our teammates in Zendesk Sell and in Zendesk in general. This is the advice that they give to the new joiner. And there are a couple of things that I just found interesting here, because well, we all know that they should be like asking a lot of questions and so on, but like the fact that you should focus on relationships, this is one of our core values in Zendesk. You are in a good company, so don't be afraid to make those relationships. They will come very useful. Here again, the highlighted part is that you have this fresh perspective. You might be very stressed when joining, but remember that you can learn as much from us as we can learn from you. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to say what you would like to be done differently. Your feedback will be very welcome. And last but not least, the quotation that I like very much is that ownership is not given, it is taken. So eventually we want people who join our organizations to be independent and to own systems and work independently. However, it is not something you can force on a person. When they are ready, when they feel confident, and once they have settled down, they will do it by themselves. And in order to make this happen, you should we should help them feel confident. And the successful onboarding process is something that does exactly that. So I just want to close with wishing you good luck, regardless of whether you will be welcoming new people to your own teams and, well, maybe using some of the inspirations from here, or whether you would be changing teams yourself. I wish you good luck in all of these things, and who knows, maybe even you will be able to see the Zendesk onboarding experience firsthand, experience it firsthand, if ever your paths and Zendesk paths will cross. So thank you very much, see you, and I wish you a very good rest part of the day. Thank you.